on the other side of our studio, Nadia Massi, prepared for Media Watch. Hello to
evening.
you. Now then, you've been looking at an interview with Hilary Clinton, that's picked up a lot of angry reaction today online because she said Europe needs to tighten its borders still further.
Yes,
which seems a very strange thing for her to say.
That's right. You think this is language that might be more familiar with her former Republican opponent, Donald Trump. He, of course, talks a lot about closing borders in the United States, but we are now talking about borders here in Europe. Hilary Clinton, in this interview with The Guardian, says Europe needs to close it. Well, she doesn't say Europe needs to close its borders, but she says that migration was a big factor that fueled the rise of Donald Trump and Brexit. And then she says, in order to appease the concerns of voters here on the continent, Europe must make it harder for migrants to get here. She takes quite a bit of time in this article to criticise some of the policies made by Angela Merkel in Germany. As she says here, I admire very much the generous, compassionate approaches that were taken by leaders like Angela Merkel, but I think it's fair to say that now Europe has done its part. Europe needs to get a handle on migration because that's what lit the flame of Brexit and of Donald Trump. Now, as you can imagine, Mark, online today, the reaction to this has been pretty scathing. I'll just show you one or two. Here's the writer Nisreen Malik. She says a more honest headline would have been, we must curb immigration because it harms our political chances against populists, as we were too craven to defend it properly and make a case that it's compassionate and a net good for the economy, and now it's too late.
Very clear words from Nesreen there.
Yeah, perhaps wouldn't fit in a headline, but I think we definitely know
she sums it up,
what she's going for there. Now, lots of people finding Hillary Clinton's argument here pretty galling, because lots of the problems that we have here in Europe are to do with instability in Libya, where many of these migrants are coming from. And much of that instability started, of course, Mark, in 2011 during the uprising there, where NATO, including the United States, was involved. And who was the US Secretary of State at the time? That was, of course, Hillary Clinton. Lots of people online today pointing that out. Here's just one voice I'll highlight for you. She says here, this is the Hillary Clinton who was happy to decimate Libya and worsen the migration crisis in Europe. Now most people coming through Africa are trafficked from there. Gaddafi himself said this is exactly what would happen. So plenty of criticism online of Hillary Clinton today. But I will just say this, that if you're interested to see how close you are yourself ideologically to Hillary Clinton, or indeed to her former boss Barack Obama, or to France's Emmanuel Macron, there's a quiz that you can take. There's always a quiz. It's not on BuzzFeed this time, but it's part of that same Guardian series where they're taking a deep dive into populism here in Europe. So you can take a quiz, assess whether you find yourself a populist or more of a centrist, whether that's a populist left or a populist on the right. I don't know whether you want to speculate yourself, Mark, or you can do it in the privacy of your own home, but there's lots to discover about your own political ideologies.
Where did you land?
Sorry?
Where did you land?
I'm not sure I should tell you on television that, but I'm saying nothing.
Straight down the middle, there with me. Thank you. Thank you, Nadia. Now, the next story, Dolce Gabbana have been accused of racism in China. It's been forced to cancel a major show in Shanghai. The brand's responded by saying that it's been hacked. Now, this is all about an advert of a Chinese model eating spaghetti with chopsticks. It started with that, didn't it?
That's right. Let me show you a little clip of that video. Here it is on Instagram. Here she is. She's lots of sort of tinny, quite stereotypical Chinese music is played. There she is with the chopsticks having a go at eating the spaghetti. And it goes on from spaghetti to cannelloni and then to pizza, also with those chopsticks. Now, users of Weibo, that's the Chinese version of Twitter, have said that this is trivializing Chinese culture and depicting the woman here in a racist way. The hashtag Boycott Dolce then began to surface online pretty quickly. I'll just give you a sample reaction of a few that we can find on Twitter, bearing in mind, of course, that that's banned in China. But it says here, embarrassing, what's wrong with their marketing team? Do they think we lived in 1908? But I have to say, as you alluded to, things really took a turn for the worse for Dolce & Gabbana when it came to their response. A private message was leaked that was apparently sent by Stefano Gabbana, one of the co-founders.
Do I see poop emojis there?
You do. What I'm not going to do here is read to you some of the details that he said, because there is some pretty explicitly racist content. But
that's really sad, isn't it?
It is, but it's interesting. Certainly the language is racist, but look at the latest Instagram post of his. He says, "It's not me." And that's the official response from Dolce & Gabbana's account themselves. They say, our Instagram was hacked. His account was hacked as well. They say they're investigating, and actually it had nothing to do with them at all.
So he's using the kind of the Shaggy defence, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Does anybody believe him, I wonder?
Well, that's the question. Officially, of course, Mark, the jury's out, but there is plenty of scepticism online, as some people saying, why would somebody hack his account simply to send private racist messages, particularly given that we know that he is someone in the past who has quite a history with some inflammatory language. One person here saying, not hacked, will someone please make a list of Stefano Gabbana's greatest Instagram hits, and they include for you, if you're interested, suggesting that gay people shouldn't have children, and also saying that Beijing was and is an underdeveloped city. And as we heard then in our business update a bit earlier on, that's all having a pretty serious impact on the consumer market there, where the luxury good market is key for China. And I just wonder if I can end with one Instagram. That's
Go ahead.
From this woman here. She's a Chinese model. She was due to appear in a Dolce & Gabbana show this month. She's pulled out, and then she says there, you are cowards.
Jen Estelle with those words. Nadia, thank you very much to Nadia Massimo Media Watch.